Okay, so this is going to be a lot of fun because we are going to dive into a topic that so many women have been misled about, and that is carbs. And carbs are not the enemy. They have been played out to be the enemy. And you don't have to cut them out or starve yourself or feel deprived. In fact, the right carbs at the right time can actually support your energy, metabolism, mood, insulin, even your sleep. Okay, so we're going to break down Balanced Bodies, the carb edition, um, by talking about ways that carbs can work with your hormones instead of maybe feeling like all they've done is ever work against them. So, here is the hormone connection, and here's why carb timing matters so much. So, insulin, when we eat carbs, your blood sugar rises, and insulin steps in and it stores that sugar. If you eat carbs at the wrong time, like all day long, like you're snacking all day long, or even late at night, your body gets very stuck in fat storage mode. So that's how insulin works there. Cortisol, which I talk about cortisol all the time. This is our stress hormone. And when cortisol is high, you can throw off sugar or late night carbs. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. But if you pair carbs with protein during the day or after a workout, they can actually bring down or lower or regulate. I like to use the word regulate your cortisol. Okay, leptin and ghrelin. So these two hunger hormones, they oftentimes get dismissed. Leptin and ghrelin, these are your hunger hormone and your fullness hormone. So if you're getting a stomach growl, that means ghrelin is in place. If you feel full after you eat and you give this big, like a sigh, almost like you're done eating, that is your leptin working. So carbs timed correctly around cravings, carbs timed correctly help keep cravings in check, and they support that fullness, that satiety feeling. Okay, thyroid. This is a hormone we don't talk a whole lot about. So your thyroid, which controls metabolism, actually needs carbs. So cutting them out is not doing us any good. It needs carbs to function well. And that's why cutting carbs when we do these very restrictive diet, so oftentimes it backfires. So when do we eat them? When do we optimally eat carbs? So when carbs help you, here's the good news. Carbs can be used as your ally if you use them wisely. So I love them first thing in the morning. So morning, not just carbs alone, but paired with protein and fat, they give you steady energy and focus. They also help keep you full throughout the morning, so you're not getting super hungry at 10 o'clock. So here's some ideas. Think eggs, think sauteed veggies, so an omelet maybe, and maybe even a side of berries. They're also really great for your post-workout. Post-workout, carbs help recover, replenish glycogen, help calm the cortisol. Because if you're working out strenuously or hard, or lifting super heavy weights, your cortisol level is elevating, and it's supposed to. You want that to happen. Cortisol is regulating correctly, but we also want to make sure that we're feeding that in the evening. So if I were to take out carbs in a particular time or limit carbs, it's the evening. I don't want to eat a ton of carbs at my evening meal. So in the evening, a small serving of healthy carbs can actually can help your body produce serotonin and melatonin, and the hormones that obviously help us sleep. Ever notice that a little rice or a potato for dinner makes you feel calm? Well, that's your hormones at work. So most people are already like, you eat potatoes? Yes, I eat potatoes. They are actually a healthy carb, but I eat them in moderation, and I also eat them paired with protein. But if I were to take out carbs or limit carbs, like if I know that like if I'm traveling and I don't always get, flexibility with what I'm eating because someone else is preparing it or I'm relying on restaurants, I will make sure that those carbs hit earlier in the day than late in the day. So when to eat carbs can definitely make a difference. Okay. So that's how they can work for you. How about when they work against you? So there's a flip side to every coin. Carbs can sabotage your hormones when you're mistiming them, especially on an empty stomach. So first thing in the morning to only have toast is just, it's spiking your blood sugar. It's going to lead to cravings and it creates an energy crash. Late night. Late night is another time that we want to avoid eating carbs, especially sugary carbs. They promote fat storage and they disrupt sleep. And then if you're grazing on carbs all day long, so every snack is filled with carbs, your insulin never gets a break, which leads to insulin resistance over time. And I think so many of us, even though it's undiagnosed, so many of us struggle with insulin resistance because all day long we're snacking, we're giving our body carbs or sugar. And instead of that carb broken down, entering the bloodstream, being broke down and being used as energy, we already have leftover insulin from whenever we left ate. It's now getting stored as fat, and it will stay in fat storing mode until we deplete that sugar source in like our muscles and our blood. Okay, so let's just look at this. Take a screenshot of this because this one's pretty good. Or so I say so myself. So let's make this very, very practical. When you're looking at here, just think breakfast, protein, fiber, small carbs. Or sorry, smart carbs. Protein, fiber, smart carb. So protein is going to be maybe eggs, maybe a protein shake if there aren't any seed oils in it. Fiber, I really love chia seed in the morning. My example has flaxseed, things like that. And then maybe some berries for not dessert to add on top. So a very smart carb breakfast. Lunch, think balanced plate, fist of starchy carbs, quinoa, sweet potato. I always add protein. So I just said balanced plate. I always have protein in there, but just about a fistful of carbs. Afternoon snack, keep carbs to a minimum. Focus more on protein. So this whole eating carbs throughout the day or grabbing them is the thing that's raising our sugar and creating less insulin sensitivity. Dinner, again, I think we've kind of hit this maybe too many times. Protein, veggies, small serving of carbs. So we didn't take carbs out. We didn't even label carbs as bad, but we just want to make sure that the timing of them is a smart move. Workout days. If you work out daily, you might need just a little bit of support, extra support. So add those extra starchy carbs after exercise to support recovery. So my favorite meal in the morning, and I do love eggs and I love omelets, but I don't always have time in the morning, is I use old-fashioned oats, so rolled oats, a scoop of my favorite protein powder, a little bit of almond milk, there's my fat, and then a few blueberries. And it is just my go-to. Oh, and I add cinnamon. It is delicious. It's one of my favorite meals. And remember, this isn't about perfection. It's just about finding rhythm with your hormones. And you know, if you have rhythm with your hormones, if after you eat, you are full, but you're not bloated. Like you physically feel like, okay, I don't want to eat anything else, but you don't feel gross or icky. You're not bloated and feeling uncomfortable. So that's always a cue to figure out, am I eating in rhythm with my food, or am I eating in rhythm with my body and with my hormones, or am I kind of fighting against myself a little bit? Okay, carb quality matters. I know you know this, but we can't go a whole presentation about carbs and not mention that carb quality doesn't matter. So carb quality absolutely matters. Choose fiber-rich whole carbs, lentils, quinoa, sweet potatoes, berries. All of those are also low glycemic. So you're doing your body a favor, you're doing yourself a favor, and you're doing your goals, you're honoring your goals. And obviously we want to avoid refined carbs, sugars, like white bread, pastries, soda, fruit juice. Just a hint, like fruit juice isn't terrible. Fruit juice is actually okay. We want to make sure that there's no sugar added. If you're reading labels, like reading labels is so trendy right now. If you're looking for two things to avoid when you're reading labels, it's seed fiber, or sorry, not seed fiber, it's seed oils, and it's added sugar. Look for your added sugar. If whatever you're eating, breads or pastries or whatever, has a lot of added sugar, it's working against you. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding those kinds of things. And it's not just timing. I mean, we can talk timing all day. It is the quality of the food that's going to help keep your hormones balanced. Okay, I would love to know, what is your go-to comfort food? Like, what is that go-to comfort food that you love, that you're not sure you're willing to give up, that makes you super happy? Because I totally understand that. It can make you super happy. But you also know that it might be working against your body just a little bit. What is that to you? And I want you to text it to me or email it to me. And just know that as we go through all of these different things, it is not perfection that we're looking for. It never has been, it never will be. So you don't have to worry about things like that. You don't have to worry about being perfect in your journey. You have to worry, or you don't have to worry at all. Concern yourself more with being consistent. And when you love a certain food and you're not sure, like, okay, well, I love this, I love bread, what could I substitute it with? Reach out and we can talk about easy substitutions so you don't feel like you're living in restriction, but you're still honoring your goals. And I feel like that is key. Okay, if you caught the replay, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to email me your questions. For all of you that showed up live, we're going to pause the presentation, and then we are going to start your Q&A. So I hope you enjoyed it. Drop notes if you have questions, and have a very, very good day.